Coney Island holds a special place in the hearts of many New Yorkers and visitors alike, thanks to its rich history and nostalgic charm. From classic arcade games to vintage signage and architecture, the park is steeped in tradition, making every visit feel like a step back in time. With its proximity to the Atlantic Ocean, Coney Island provides a unique blend of amusement park fun and beach relaxation. As soon as you arrive, you're greeted by the sounds of laughter, screams of thrill seekers on rides, and the enticing aroma of classic carnival foods like hot dogs, cotton candy, and popcorn. The atmosphere is buzzing with excitement and energy awaiting the thrill of the rides. From the thrilling rides of Luna Park to the nostalgic allure of the Cyclone roller coaster, the park is said to be steeped with history and local lore, and many other beach boardwalk-style rides.
Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, and today we're taking you on a trip to Coney Island, but it's not always screams from the thrills and laughters at the park. From the phantom of the boardwalk to the eerie lights in the sky and ghosts of former workers, the park is steeped in history and local lore. From classic rides and historic attractions and landmark statuses. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community today. A huge shout out goes to all of our Coaster Ghost and producers and channel members for helping put all of this content together. We couldn't do all this without you guys. Now, on to Haunted Coney Island.
Coney Island takes on a distinctly different atmosphere after dark, one that is infused with an eerie and haunting ambiance. As the sun sets and the crowds disperse, the park transforms into a realm of shadows and mysteries, where the echoes of laughter give way to whispers carried on the sea breeze. Strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena add to the creepiness of Coney Island after dark.
From inexplicable sounds echoing through the empty amusement park to mysterious lights flickering in the distance, these phenomena contribute to the pervasive sense of unease that permeates the night. Stories of accidents, fires, and unsolved mysteries become more palpable in the stillness of the night, as if the ghosts of the past are whispering their secrets to those who dare to listen. Visitors have reported encountering ghostly apparitions wandering the boardwalk or lurking near abandoned attractions. So let's go ahead and get into some specifics before we get into some personal experiences afterwards. On to the hauntings.
With many parks in the area, local legends and lore surround almost all of them. Steeplechase Park, once an amazing amusement park for the area, now lay forgotten yet. For those who dared to venture into its deserted grounds, claimed there were whispers of a ghostly presence lingering among the ruins. It was the first of the 3 large amusement parks built on Coney Island, the other 2 being Luna Park in 1903 and Dreamland in 1904. Of the 3, Steeplechase was the longest lasting, running for 67 years. Steeplechase Park was created by entrepreneur George C. Tillieu in 1897 and operated until 1964. In the waning hours of twilight, a lone figure roamed the deserted grounds of Steeplechase Park, his silhouette casting long shadows against the crumbling facades of the abandoned attractions. Those who claim to have encountered him describe him as a shadowy figure, clad in outdated attire and exuding an aura of authority.
Suddenly, they spotted the ghostly figure of George C. Tillieu, the park's founder, drifting silently among the wreckage. Despite their fear, the explorers couldn't help but feel a sense of reverence in their presence, as if they were witnessing a piece of history come to life before their eyes. Those who claim to have encountered ghosts of George C. Tillieu describe him as a shadowy figure, clad in outdated attire and exuding an aura of authority like said before. Some witnesses report feeling a sense of unease in his presence or reverence in his presence, as if they were being watched by the eyes of the park's founder himself. His apparition is said to appear at dusk, silently surveying the grounds of Steeplechase Park. These experiences add a creepy aura to the park's history, but it's only one of the first layers. More happenings over the years have occurred on the grounds. Tragically, some have lost their lives at the park expecting to have a full day of fun, turned out to be one of their last.
The fire that ravaged Coney Island, particularly Dreamland Park, is a tragic chapter in the area's history, leaving behind devastation and loss. On May 27, 1911, a massive fire broke out in Dreamland, one of the most popular amusement parks of its time. The inferno quickly consumed the wooden structures and attractions, turning the park into a blazing inferno that could be seen for miles around. Despite the efforts of firefighters and park employees, the fire proved unstoppable, fueled by the flammable materials used in the park's construction. By the time the flames were finally extinguished, Dreamland lay in ruins, reduced to little more than charred debris and smoldering embers.
But perhaps even more haunting than the physical remnants of the fire are the stories of the spirits said to haunt the ruins of Dreamland Park. In the years following the fire, there have been reports of ghostly apparitions seen wandering among the charred remains, their forms flickering in the moonlight like phantoms in another realm. Some claim to have heard disembodied voices echoing through the ruins, whispering tales of the past in hushed tones. Others report feeling an inexplicable chill in the air as they explore the abandoned grounds, as if the spirits of those who perished in the fire still lingered among the ashes. Among the most famous ghostly residents of Dreamland is the shadowy figure said to wander the ruins, his form shifting and flickering like the flames that consume the park. Some believe him to be the ghost of an unfortunate soul who perished in the fire, forever condemned to wander the ruins in search of peace.
The tragic tale of a child who perished on the Ferris wheel at Coney Island is one that continues to haunt the memories of those who have heard it. It is said that many years ago, during a bustling summer day at the amusement park, a young boy and his family were enjoying a ride on the iconic Wonder Wheel. As the Ferris wheel ascended into the sky, providing breathtaking views of the park and the surrounding ocean, tragedy struck. Somehow, the young boy became separated from his family, slipping through the safety restraints and falling from the ride to the ground below. Witnesses recount hearing the sound of a child's mournful cries drifting through the night air near the Wonder Wheel. Some claim to have seen the ghostly figure of a young boy standing alone on the boardwalk, his tear-streaked face illuminated by the moonlight.
Since that fateful incident, there have been reports of a ghostly child's apparition and mournful cries echoing through the night air near the Wonder Wheel. Witnesses claim to have seen the ghostly figure of a young boy standing alone on the boardwalk near the ride as well. According to the legend, the child's spirit remains trapped in this state of eternal longing, forever searching for the family he was torn away from so tragically. Some believe that he continues to wander the grounds of Coney Island, his ghostly presence a reminder of the dangers that lurk beneath the surface of the park's seemingly carefree atmosphere.
In the hushed hours of the night, when Luna Park lies shrouded in darkness and the echoes of laughter have long faded away, there exists a presence that lingers near the entrance gates. It is said to be the spirit of the phantom ticket taker. Employees working late nights at Luna Park speak of their encounters with the phantom ticket taker, claiming to have seen a shadowy figure standing, watching at the entrance of the gates. Legend has it that the phantom ticket taker is the restless spirit of a former employee who met a tragic end while working at the park. Some say he perished in a fire that swept through Luna Park many years ago, while others believe he simply vanished without a trace, leaving behind only his ghostly presence to haunt the entrance gates for all eternity.
The legend of the spirit of the cyclone weaves through the very fabric of Coney Island's storied history, haunting the towering structure of the iconic roller coaster that stands as both a testament to thrill seekers and a beacon of nostalgia for generations past. As the sun dips below the horizon and the vibrant lights of Coney Island begin to come to life, there's a moment of eerie stillness that settles over the cyclone. Before the first cars ascend the rickety tracks and the screams of riders fill the air, that the presence of the spirit of the cyclone is said to be the most palpable.
Riders on Cyclone report feeling an unexplained chill in the air as they ascend the first hill, the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes sending shivers down their spines. Legend has it that the spirit of the Cyclone ghost is the ghost of a daredevil rider who met his untimely end on the roller coaster many years ago. Some say he perished in a tragic accident that claimed the lives of several passengers, while others believe he simply vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a ghostly presence to haunt the coaster. And as night falls and the coaster stands silent against the moonlit sky, visitors may find themselves wondering if they too will catch a glimpse of the ghostly rider who still haunts its tracks.
There's more history to the park as well, with visitors of the boardwalk describing hearing the faint strains of music drifting through the air, reminiscent of the past eras. Some claim to have felt the sense of nostalgia wash over them as they listened, as if their music was speaking to their souls. Local lore suggests that it may be the ghost of a talented musician, serenading the night with melodies from the past in a final farewell to the living world. Employees working late nights at the Spookorama Dark Ride recount experiencing strange phenomena, such as malfunctioning animatronics and ghostly apparitions lurking in the shadows. Some claim to have seen the figures of past visitors reflected in the distorted mirrors, their faces twisted expressions of terror as they relive the horrors of the ride. Legend has it that the spirits of those who perished in the accidents at the park continue to haunt the attraction today.
The air is thick with the scent of salt water and nostalgia, each breeze carrying with it echoes of laughter and the distant strains of music. Shadows dance along the boardwalk, their movements casting eerie silhouettes against the weathered wood, while the distinct sound of crashing waves adds to the haunting melody of the night.
With the local legends and lore surrounding the park, with long history deeply ingrained in the New York grounds, the question remains, is this park ghosted? Or have these legends been coasting through generations and just some more lore? Coney Island may be steeped in deep-rooted history and stories of the Phantom's past, but there is a park with a bit more visited stories out there, longer history, and tons of spirits still roaming the grounds. And for the Ghost or Coast and Halloween special, we're taking you to 2 more locations tonight. But first, we head to the eerie shores of Cedar Point to discuss the rumored hauntings and discussed occurrences at the park. So make sure you get your spooky atmosphere going on around you. Light them candles, tell your ghosts hello, and hang on for the thrill of a lifetime, and maybe even beyond. From the dance floor of the Coliseum to the carousel horses and hotel breakers, the history at Cedar Point often plays a role in the rumored hauntings. But is there more to these spooky stories than just some fun lore? One of the most famous haunted spots at Cedar Point is Hotel Breakers, which dates back to 1905. Many visitors and employees have reported paranormal activity in this historic hotel. Ghostly figures dressed in 1920s era clothing have been seen on the balconies, particularly in the rotunda area. Unexplained knocks, apparitions, and mysterious voices are also very common. There have been reports of televisions turning on by themselves and items moving on their own. A few guests have experienced sudden cold spots and the feeling of being watched, leading to speculations that the spirits of the past guests still linger. The most famous tale involves room 169, where a woman reportedly died in the shower. Guests have claimed that the shower turns on by itself, accompanied by cold spots and eerie crying sounds. But there's even more to this one location. The hotel's balconies are said to be haunted, linked to a tragic suicide pact between a couple, where only the man followed through. His spirit is said to push female guests near the balcony edge. We found this information on Carousel of Chaos and Let's Roam, discussing the history and hauntings. And we wonder if any of you have stayed at the hotel. Has anything happened to you guys there? Have you felt any odd experiences? But have you heard the carousel stories? Well, let's get into some of those versions. According to one version, the carousel's creator murdered his wife and her lover, a jockey, after discovering their affair. Some believe their spirits now haunt the ride. Employees have reported hearing the carousel's music playing at night and seeing it spin in reverse. Now, the less gruesome version we found, a ghostly woman is sometimes seen riding the military horse on the frontier town carousel at Cedar Point. That is a former carousel that was at Cedar Point. Some believe she may have been the wife of the man who carved the horse, while others think she was a honeymooning visitor. They used to say photographing this particular horse led to technical malfunctions. On top of the music and reverse rumors, according to the legend, the carousel was originally from Michigan and used by Al Capone to torment his victims before disposing their bodies in nearby waters. We cannot confirm the torture parts, but we can confirm the ride comes from Lake Lansing in Michigan. Dorney Park now has the carousel, and they say it came from a traveling fair, then from Cedar Point, but that actually came from Lake Lansing. Lake Lansing sold it to Cedar Point when they closed. We have the records from the actual Historic Society here in Michigan. Though the carousel was located to Dorney Park in 1995, the military horse still remains in Cedar Point's Frontier Town Museum, which, if you know, it's been closed for quite some time since COVID. It's a little eerie if you think about it, but who knows what the extent of some of those rumors truly are? Could the ghostly figures still linger in the shadows after days of excitement at the park? Or just down the way on the Frontier Trail lies some of Cedar Point's richest history, with some of them being, of course, Millennium Forest towering over the park, sending riders into a frenzied scream down the first drop. But that might not be the only screams coming from the area of the park, according to some former workers. Coming across this story on Shadowlands, let's get into the ghosts of the Midways, or, the shops on the Midway. CJ's Provisions, known for its sweets and treats, among other cool kettle corn showings and more during the Halloween Haunt event, is said to have an even creepier side to it as well. A mysterious presence is said to linger near CJ's Provisions on the Frontier Trail. Workers in the stand have reportedly felt someone nearby or spotted figures passing by the doors, even when the park is closed for the season. According to a legend online, a young woman haunts the trail, endlessly searching for her lost boyfriend or husband. Strange occurrences were said to be common inside CJ's by a former employee who posted this. For instance, when you leave a sponge by the sink or the fudge area and step away, whether for a break or to grab something, you may return to find something missing, despite no one else being around. Later, the sponge might mysteriously reappear in the exact same spot that you left it, even though only 2 people are working in the stand. These are circumstantial, so you guys have to believe them if you do or not, but let us know if you've ever worked at CJ's. Did any of these things happen to you? Now, how about that really old Coliseum at the park? It's gotta be haunted, right? Well, some say so. Let's coaster ghost our way on through the spooky fun here. People have reported seeing shadows out of the corner of their eyes while in the room, and there's even a little video on YouTube somewhere where someone supposedly saw something in there too. Being built over 100 years ago, the history and residual energy that lie with the building likely add to the story. There's an eerie feeling some get up there, but staff have also reported feeling cold spots and seeing these shadows as well. So as far as urban legends go, this one really may be haunted and we might never really know. Cedar Point, a historic amusement park known for its record-breaking roller coasters and rides, also harbors a chilling collection of ghostly legends. The spookiest haunt story is Hotel Breakers, built in 1905, where reports of a ghostly figure in 1920s attire appear, unexplained noises, and eerie cold spots that are very common. Room 169 is especially infamous for its tragic tale involving a woman's death, with claims of the shower turning on all by itself and ghostly cries. The carousel also holds tons of historic weight, if some legends are to be believed. Some say it's haunted by the spirits of a murdered wife and her lover, with eerie occurrences like the carousel spinning in reverse and playing music on its own. The carousel's past, including a Michigan past and connection to Al Capone, add to its unsettling reputation. CJ's Provisions on the Frontier Trail is rumored to be haunted by a young woman searching for her lost lover, with employees reportedly hearing strange phenomena and seeing strange things like sponges and ghostly appearances. The old Coliseum is another site of paranormal activity, with staff and visitors experiencing cold spots and seeing shadowy figures. So the next time you go to Cedar Point, remember, it may not just be the friends and family walking with us, and as night falls, the haunting fun comes out. From Halloween's to real-life ghost stories, the park is steeped in history and ghostly legends. The question is, do you believe, and have you ever experienced the eerie feelings on the Erie Peninsula yourself? And now to the final haunting of the night, and possibly the most haunted amusement park of them all. Featured on an episode of Ghost Hunters in Season 8, the park known as Kings Island may also hold a darker side as well. Tonight, we're going to explore the stories that steep the park in urban legends and some unfortunate circumstances as well. From Tower Johnny, the Racer, and much more, let's begin our Halloween adventure through one of America's favorite amusement parks, and a paranormal investigator's dream, especially as coaster enthusiasts like us. Hey, Kings Island, call us. We're free. The TAPS crew of ghost hunters investigated rumors of spirits haunting Kings Island Amusement Park in Mason, Ohio. While many might have expected them to search for the spirit of Tower Johnny, their focus was actually on finding the girl in the blue dress, the ghost of a 5-year-old girl who supposedly died in the 1800s and is buried near the park. The investigation began with a historical overview, revealing that before the land became an amusement park, it was the site of an ammunition factory that exploded back in the day, killing around 100 people. The show then connected this tragic event to the story of the little girl named Missouri Jane, believed to be the girl in the blue dress haunting the park. The link between the explosion and the girl's hauntings wasn't entirely clear, and the mention of the ammunition factory seemed somewhat disconnected. Since Kings Island opened in 1972, there have been numerous reports of a little girl in a blue dress being seen and heard around the International Restaurant and near the Whitewater Canyon ride. During their investigation, the TAPS team captured what they believed to be the voices of 1 or even 2 children on EVP recordings, and they felt confident that they had made contact with the ghostly presence of the girl in the blue dress. Now, nestled at the north end of Kings Island's parking lot, just off Columbia Road, lies a small historic cemetery known as the Dog Street Cemetery. The somber site dates back to the 1840s and contains nearly 70 grave sites, though only a few headstones still stand today. While the cemetery's ancient gravestones cast an eerie shadow over the park, the ghostly tales of Kings Island extend beyond this historic burial ground. For years, rumors of hauntings within the park have circulated, fueled by the chilling ghost stories connected to its rides and attractions. Among the tragic events contributing to the park's haunting reputation is the death of a 20-year-old Lion Country Safari Ranger in 1976. While the Safari ride, which operated from 1974 to 1993, is known for its thrilling and exotic encounters, it was also the site of a grisly accident. The young ranger was mauled to death by a lion after leaving the safety of his Jeep to relieve himself, adding a chilling note to the park's history. Now, we were researching some of the haunts online and found a few deaths at the park over the years that are rumored to contribute to some of the sightings found around the park. According to an article we came across online, it stated the following. On June 9, 1991, a tragic event forever etched into the park's history known as Black Sunday unfolded. A young man enjoying the day with his park and friends and family at Oktoberfest near the Viking attraction playfully dipped his hand into the fountain to splash his companions. However, a hidden electrical short in the lighting system caused a severe shock, sending Tim collapsing into the water. He had his friends there that attempted to rescue him, but was also electrocuted. Nearby security guard rushed to save them, met a similar fate. There was also a falling victim to the electric current. That's just super scary stuff there, and I'm sure it adds on to having that residual energy lying around. Both him and the security guard were killed on the spot, and Tim survived but was left with life-altering injuries. Later on in the evening, a woman on the Flight Commander ride fell somewhere from 50 to 60 feet to her death. We also have to mention a recent death at the park near the Banshee ride that could also add on to some of the feelings and, eerie sights going on at the park. If you're seeing anything, just saying that some of these stuff actually do add into real life hauntings and add into the realness of some of the stuff. You know what I mean? One of the more famous stories of the park is that of Tower Johnny, and that's a sad story that we do not want to glorify in any way. But this death did occur at the park, and guests as well as workers have reported eerie feelings and sounds at night when on the tower. The story begins on May 13th, 1983. You guessed it, a Friday of all things. There was a person there celebrating grad night at the park, and according to the stories, climbed over the railing on the Eiffel Tower and fell to his death on one of the elevator shafts. That's just horrific. We can't even begin to stress enough how sad that story really is. A day meant for fun turned into such horror. Now, as the years pass and the stories grow, people wonder if the presence of Tower Johnny is really still there or not. We've had some people say they've done EVPs. I mean, obviously, when you're doing this with the park full of people, it's going to be hard to get actual results. So it's hard to actually tell these things. If they got an independent investigator in there at night and we're actually able to go up and down and do some of this stuff, they could probably get some more answers. But there's more stories throughout the park, and this one goes to the Racer Ghost. Among the eerie legends of Kings Island, one of the most eerie hauntings of the park is that of the Racer Boy, a small ghostly child said to roam near the Racer roller coaster. This ghost has been spotted by both employees and guests, often startling those who encounter him. He is frequently seen alone and too close to the wooden coaster, prompting concerned visitors to alert the park staff about this lifelike child. The origins of the Racer Boy's hauntings are linked to a dark tale from the past. Let's dive into the legend behind the haunting here. It's said that two of the Racer's 4 cars originally came from a ride at Coney Island known as the Shooting Star. Many years ago, an incident occurred when a young boy who had been alone in the back of the Shooting Star was found dead on the tracks after the ride had returned to the shed. Despite a thorough search, his body was discovered in the valley of the track, having been struck by the passing train cars. Reports of the Racer Boy began surfacing in the early 1990s, despite the Racer being one of the park's oldest rides, with components predating the park itself. Riders on the Racer often claim to see the ghostly figure standing beside the tracks or appearing near some of the tracks, forever lingering near the scene of his tragic fate. As Halloween approaches, the story of Racer Boy adds a chilling layer to the park's already eerie atmosphere, because though he did not die at the park, I think the residual energy is more attached to the train cars themselves, so that's why some people may claim they see him near the tracks and kind of reliving this, making every ride a reminder of the ghostly presence that may haunt its wooden tracks. Kings Island has many stories to its deep history, but have you heard the stories of the Beast? One of the most famous roller coasters and one of the most renowned at Kings Island, especially for its night rides. However, this iconic ride is also steeped in some ghostly legends and eerie occurrences, supposedly. Both staff and riders have reported a range of unsettling phenomena, particularly in the ride's tunnels and surrounding wooded areas. One of the more striking reports involves ghostly figures seen in the dense woods surrounding the Beast. Witnesses even describe shadowy, indistinct shapes moving through the trees, often accompanied by an unsettling feeling of being watched. Some visitors have reported hearing unexplained noises while waiting in line for the ride. These noises, described as disembodied voices or distant eerie sounds, often occur in the quiet moments before the ride starts. Again, this is all hearsay, so you guys have to take this with a grain of salt, but staff members have also reported experiencing cold spots and sudden drops in temperature around the ride's tunnels during regular routine maintenance checks, all of these things. And they've also reported experiencing really just these feelings of unease in certain areas of the park, and others have told us outright that the haunts just aren't real. And hey everyone, this is spooky fun and nobody really knows for sure what's happening, so take all of this and just kind of go with it as it is. Another chilling aspect of the Beast hauntings also involves the sightings of these red eyes people supposedly see. Riders and park employees have occasionally reported seeing glowing red eyes peering out from the shadows or among the trees over the years. These eerie luminescent eyes have become a notable part of the Beast's ghostly lore, adding a layer of fear and mystery to the already thrilling ride. Or this could simply be a huge urban legend and part of them just wanting to see something out there. With all the shining lights out of the park, who really knows what's lurking in the shadows? We hope you guys are having an awesome Halloween, and we hope you guys enjoyed this Ghoster Coastin' Halloween event. Had some spooky fun during the haunt season, watching some haunted episodes. Remember, everyone be safe out there. Eat as much candy as you can and celebrate with your friends and your family. Smash that subscribe button right now if you love Halloween, roller coasters, and can't wait to ride another coaster next season. Drop a comment down below if you've experienced any of these hauntings at any of these parks. And again, a big thank you for watching the haunted months of September and October with us here at Ghoster Coasters, the spookiest coaster crew out there. As always, thank you for being a part of our spooky community and for Coaster Ghostin' with Ghoster Coasters. Have a spooky night, everybody, and a happy, ghostly, haunted Halloween.